As technology and the tools we use to create and share information evolve, so do the theories and ways we attempt to understand learning. For Project 5, I've been looking at two emergent learning theories. These two theories are called connectivism and community of inquiry. We'll take a quick look at the basics of each and then consider how they might be applied to a real-world learning scenario. George Siemens originated the idea of connectivism in a 2004 article. It's about the connections made between individual nodes within a network. Siemens defined it this way: the starting point of connectivism is the individual. Personal knowledge is comprised of a network, which feeds into organizations and institutions, which in turn feed back into the network, and then continue to provide learning to the individual. This cycle of knowledge development, personal to network to organization, allows learners to remain current in their field through the connections they have formed. The community of inquiry model was originally developed by three researchers at the University of Calgary: Garrison, Anderson, and Archer. The community of inquiry theoretical framework represents a process of creating a deep and meaningful collaborative connectivist learning experience through the development of three interdependent elements: social, cognitive, and teaching presence. Social presence is the ability of participants to identify with the community, communicate purposefully in a trusting environment, and develop interpersonal relationships by way of projecting their individual personalities. Teaching presence is the design, facilitation, and direction of cognitive and social processes for the purpose of realizing personally meaningful and educationally worthwhile learning outcomes. Cognitive presence is the extent to which learners are able to construct and conform meaning through sustained reflection and discourse. The real-world learning program I'm going to be applying these theories to is called ICON. ICON is a program at my company, Gap Inc., for store managers. It's defined as an elevated leadership development program that is focused on taking proven business leaders and building additional capability to prepare them for additional responsibilities in upper field management positions. The high-level outcomes and benefits of the program have been outlined as establishing clear goals to enable the next steps in their career and continually monitoring their progress against these goals, enhancing their current leadership abilities through group and individual learning opportunities, becoming more strategic and global in managing their business to improve business results, working remotely both in peer working groups and mentoring relationships, meeting and learning from other proven leaders within Gap, Banana Republic, and Gap Inc., managing a strategic business project and presenting recommendations to a panel of senior leaders, receiving feedback from themselves and others about their performance, strengths, and opportunities for future development. Let's examine how a few of the core principles of connectivism might inform the design of the ICON program. First, identify informal learning sources beyond the classroom or peer group. In approaching the design of the learning experiences associated with ICON, it will be important to think about learning not just in terms of people, but in resources that can support learning, including books, articles, and other resources at the participants' disposal. Utilize an online platform for self-service access to learning. Part of the current program proposal includes potential access to a reservoir of on-demand online learning resources. This concept supports the principle of viewing learning as not just coming from people. Balance highly polished formalized learning modules with just-in-time learning that will be developed in response to business needs and learner feedback. For some of the learning modules being delivered via a virtual classroom, we'll want to create some really scrappy learning. These should be very hands-on to allow us to quickly incorporate feedback in current business trends and developments to make highly up-to-date classes. Make the connection piece explicit. Make this one of the stated objectives. Be very upfront with participants that building and maintaining connections to peers, instructors, and knowledge sources are actually a key outcome of the entire program. The purpose of ICON is about more than just the learning itself, but the meta process of learning how to learn through others. Build in opportunities for different kinds of connections. It won't be enough to just tell people this, but we'll also want to build in opportunities for participants to connect. The fact that the experience will be company-wide across different brands affords the chance to meet and build relationships with people they may not normally have the chance to. In addition, interactions with instructors who are internal subject matter experts and executive guest speakers will provide even more connection points. When considering community of inquiry, there are several very tangible applications that could be applied to ICON. Social presence. Find ways to build community and bridge the distance. Since participants are spread across North America, it will be important to try to foster a sense of community. Cognitive presence. Challenge learners with real-world business problems and projects. No easy answers. Much of the learning for the program will be very challenging. A key element will be about small group project work, where participants will identify and take on real-world business issues. These are not case studies or standardized off-the-shelf learnings with pat answers. Participants will need to present back their projects to senior leaders and be ready to defend their ideas and answer questions. Teaching presence. Nurture the community of teachers. Since most of the instructors will be subject matter experts, it will be important to also offer support and guidance to this community to ensure participants are receiving a high-quality learning experience. Both connectivism and community of inquiry agree on the critical importance of connection when it comes to learning. And while not every principle or feature is readily applicable to ICON, a number of the core ideas of both of these theories seem very relevant and doable.